This Yamaha Tenere has done more miles than most people who have been riding for decades have done in their lifetime. And this is the bike's rider. This is Long Haul Paul. And you've done how many miles on this bike?
Right now I've got just about 170,000 miles.
Yeah, can we, I'm sure we can actually show that on the odometer.
We can.
I'm surprised the odometer actually goes that high.
You know, if I switch it to kilometers, it's a lot higher.
Yeah, look at that. So that is insane. And this bike is a 2021, right?
21, yeah. I'm not sure if it's still under warranty though.
Yeah, I don't know if they cover that many miles.
I tend to wear out my my warranties pretty quickly. Yeah. Void them.
So in that amount of time, I mean, what's the service been like? How many tires have you had to go through? What have you had to do?
I'm changing tires about every 7,000 miles, rear tires. There are times I have to change a little bit early because I'm heading out for a 5,000-6,000 mile trip.
Right.
The trip I'm on right now is going to be over 7,000 miles in about 10 days by the time I get home. So, of course, we start with a fresh set of tires and lube the chain a little bit. And I think I did change the oil.
And have you mostly been running these Bridgestones, or have you kind of switched it around a little bit?
I've been using Bridgestones for the last 10 years. They've actually been one of my biggest supporters since I started this journey of 1 million miles for multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
So Bridgestone's been providing my tires, so I've been very happy. I have a couple of different styles I like. This is more of a street version. This is their AT41, but I also use their AX41 and their A41, which is really a 90-10 tire, mostly street, which is a lot of my miles are on the highway. A lot of my miles are back and forth to events. I'm not on vacation. I'm actually, working, trying to document 1 million miles for MS, and those are all miles going to events. I don't go home and ride circles around my house counting the miles. When I'm not working, the bike's sitting in the garage, and sometimes it's weeks or even a month or so where I'm not allowed to touch it because my wife would kill me if I get on the bike for fun.
Yeah.
I'm away from home so much, but
people can also follow what you do on your own YouTube channel here, right?
Sure. Long Haul Paul, one word, and that's YouTube. And I also post a lot of photos and things to Facebook along the way, along my travels. Yeah, they can follow me and see the different things that I'm doing. I do a lot of fundraising, a lot of motorcycle events. Actually, I'm wearing my shirt. The MS 5000 is a mileage endurance contest I do every year. And between the events that I do and the fundraisers, I think I've raised just under $400,000.
That's awesome, dude.
For different MS charities. So that's really what it is, what I'm doing. I was at an event as a patient myself. I do have MS. Been diagnosed 18 years now. But I was at a patient event, and somebody had asked the doctor what he thought about a cure, and he said, I hate to tell you, but I think a cure is about 1 million miles away. And so that's what got me thinking, like 1 million miles. Well, that's far, but
I could ride that.
It's possible, you know.
You could ride that, yeah.
So that was my inspiration to start this 1 million mile journey. And so I document every mile I ride. I've had 2 Super Teneres. I had a Yamaha Star Venture, and now I'm on the Tenere 700, which is certainly a hoot to ride.
Yeah, how do you like the 700 versus the Super Tenere?
There was a few things that, for the type of riding I do, 1,000 miles is my average day when I'm traveling. So the tube tires and having a chain versus a shaft were a couple of the things that I was a little concerned about, but I've sorted that out. I've got a chain oiler, and I am running a tubeless rim, so I don't have to worry about carrying tubes and all of that stuff for all those freeway miles.
Way cool. So what all modifications have you done? I mean, we looked at the tires, we looked at the chain oiler here, but it looks like you've got some auxiliary fuel.
You've got a little extra fuel. Yeah, I don't like to stop, so if you're booking it on the highway and you're doing 1,000 miles, you could be stopping 7 or 8 times for gas, and that's just too much. So with this here, I can do about 250 miles or a little bit more, even a lot more if I rode the speed limit. But Yeah, about 250 miles between stops, and that way there I'm getting gas 3 or 4 times a day versus you know, 8. So that makes it a lot easier. And I've got it plumbed right in, so makes it really easy to just kind of reload my main tank. We got some really ugly homemade pouches and things. I eat and drink on the road. I don't stop and eat until I get to where I'm going at night. Just again saves time and gives me more time to sleep and do it all again the next day.
And then it looks like you've got water handy here.
Yeah, this is usually like a lemonade or iced tea, and I actually have a Camelback on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So it's just strapped to the side. That was temporary about 100,000 miles ago. I said, I'll make that more permanent.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Never got around to it. Got the Yamaha crash bars, the Yamaha dash plate, Yamaha center stand, which is important for wheel changes and things. I do, you know, change tires 10 times a year, so it makes it easy. Got the Yamaha bags, which have been awesome, waterproof. And then I do have driving lights. I spend a lot of time at night driving through the night. I don't have very good vision, so a little extra light has been helpful.
Yeah, and then obviously a taller windscreen as well, which I'm sure has been really nice.
Yeah, taller windscreen for the winter. I mean, it was in the 30s the first 2 days coming down here, so I've got my little wind deflectors here.
Yeah, which I would figure probably in the summer, I'm sure you get rid of those.
Yeah, they literally pop right off, but they're nice. You know, I rode through, I think 6 or 8 hours of not a heavy rain, but like a misty rain the first day, and I was able to still keep on my unlined leather gloves, and they didn't get soaked or anything. So that's really nice to keep the rain off your hands.
And you're based out of New Hampshire too, right? I mean, I would figure
Yes.
it's probably fairly cold and snowy there right now.
Yeah, I think it was 15 degrees this morning. Somebody sent me. I'm sending pictures of me at Huntington Beach. You know, this is the ocean.
Yeah,
And,
we're in California right now. This is great.
Somebody sent me a picture, said, yeah, Paul, stay there because it's 15 degrees here. So.
Yeah, so I guess that's probably one of the nice things about riding a lot of miles is you can go seek out some better riding conditions.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, I don't get to choose where I go, so because I'm going to events. So
I guess that makes sense.
Next week I have an event in Marietta, Georgia. So I'll ride from here to Marietta, and then I promised my wife I'd be home the next day. So then I got to get home.
Got a bomb up north.
So there's not many choices. You know, I'd love to take 3 weeks to get across the country, but it's not like I'm making millions of dollars doing this. It's for a purpose. Like I said, I'm not on vacation. I'm trying to raise money for charity and doing it on a motorcycle, which is of course the best way to travel.
Well, it's impressive how many miles you've done. There's really not a lot of people out there. I think, do you know in your lifetime how many miles you've ridden?
Lifetime is probably around 1.3, 1.4 million is my guess. Since I started the Million Miles for MS, I have 600,000 documented.
That's awesome.
So we're getting there. I've been doing this now. This is my 11th year since I started the Million Mile Quest. And I've got a lot of help from friends and supporters. And of course, companies like Bridgestone and Yamaha have really stepped up and provide me with a lot of the gear and equipment that I need to keep doing this.
Yeah, which is nice, because I would imagine that in terms of maintenance, you know, it starts to add up after not that long, especially, I mean, if you're doing, you know, close to 10,000 miles in a lot of weeks, I mean, that's a set of tires almost every week.
Yeah, when it's, you know, in the busy season, I can be putting tires on every month. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to do the oil changes, you know, on a somewhat regular basis. I do all the work myself, pretty much. So I'm a little lax on the following the schedule. I don't recommend that, but
well, apparently it works because this bike is still here and it's got a lot of other places to go. It doesn't seem like it's going to struggle with that. Have you had to go through a bunch of fork seals? I mean, how's the rest of the maintenance on the bike been?
In fact, I didn't even change the fork oil until 100,000 miles.
How did it look?
Actually, one side looked good. I was going to pour it back in.
Yeah.
But then that sounded like something that was stupid to do. Once I was dirty, but once I was almost crystal clear. I was surprised. It wasn't bad at all. But yeah, no fork seals. Really haven't done much more than oil changes, a couple of spark plugs, and air filters here and there. I can usually tell when the spark plugs are worn, the gas mileage starts to go down. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get to that. It might be 10, 15, 20,000 miles, but I'll get to it, change them out. But really, it's been a bulletproof bike. I'm not really fussy with it. You can see it doesn't get washed or that type of thing. But
well, yeah, you'd have to wash it every 10 minutes.
It gets dirty the next 20 minutes I get on it. So I just want everything to work and make sure it starts every morning. And if I'm riding through the winter, it's got to start. It's got to be dependable. And that's one of the things that first drew me to Yamaha. The first Tenere I had, nobody gave it to me. I bought it, and made all the payments on it. But I bought it because I knew it was dependable, rock solid. Friends of mine with the Super Tenere that also like the FJR and things. I've got friends with 300,000 miles on some of the Yamahas. It was dependable, and that's what drove me to choose Yamaha, and then they started helping me out.
And is that Tenere, the first one that you bought, is that the one that's at Barber?
That is, yeah. My first Super Tenere is at Barber. It's got 173,000 miles on it. And
wow, so you're closing in on that figure with this one.
Yeah, this is
cool.
This will almost be the highest. Well, by the time I get home, this will have more.
Yeah.
It'll be the highest mileage motorcycle I've ever owned.
Nice.
From zero, So.
And if you don't know, for those of you out there who might be wondering what Barber is, there's this incredible motorcycle museum at Barber Motorsports Park. It's in Alabama. One of his bikes is there. I've actually gotten to see it myself. It's in the company of a lot of pretty spectacular bikes.
Yeah, it is. They had to put it off in the corner because it's one of the only bikes in the museum that's filthy, dirty, nasty. Looks like this bike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I set a stupid world record on it. I documented riding. Let me if I get this right. The most hours on a motorcycle in one day. Riding a motorcycle for the most hours. And how many hours do you think that is?
Probably 24.
No.
No? How many?
28.
28 hours in a day? Oh, because you were crossing time zones?
I crossed all 4 time zones on the day we set the clocks back.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see what you did there.
So I rode 2,000 miles nonstop on the same day, same exact day. So, again, stupid world record, but it raised, I think that raised, I don't know, $14,000 or $16,000. The day afterwards, the bike said, yeah, I'm done. I mean, it had 160 something thousand miles, 68,000 or something 170 when I started that ride, and it was running a little rough. Again, my lack of maintenance, but yeah, the next day it kind of died, and it was fitting. I figured it was time to give it a rest.
Yeah.
And,
you didn't want to wash it before you gave it to the museum?
No. So that Barber said, yeah, we'd love to have it. So they shipped it there, and they got it set up really nice, and they're running a video behind, and they've done a really cool job with it. I mean,
yeah, it's a cool display.
That whole museum is unbelievable.
If you're a motorcycle fan and you're ever around Barber Motorsports Park, where in Alabama is it?
It's in Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah.
And
it's incredible.
But Birmingham is Alabama. It's also a racetrack.
Yeah.
And it's the only racetrack I know of in the world that is also listed on the National Audubon Society as a sanctuary for birds.
Huh.
That just tells you how incredible the grounds are.
Yeah.
And the foliage and stuff that they have. It's just an amazing place. They take such good care of it, and they've got 1,400 bikes on display.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not a motorcycle person, just going into the center of that museum, getting in that big elevator and being completely surrounded. There's some cars there too, but it's an incredible place to go check out. But
it really is. You need like you want a half a day at the least. A full day you could spend there just checking stuff out.
Yeah. Well, and two, I mean, you can see one of Paul's older bikes, like we mentioned there. And if you're cruising around really anywhere in the country from the sound of it, if you see this bike, yeah, give this guy a shout.
Shout out, Long Haul Paul.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for walking us through your bike. This is really cool to see something that's done this many miles, because there's, again, not that many people that ride this many miles in their career. So to see all these miles on one bike and it's still kicking, that's pretty badass.
It's a great bike. I love it.
Awesome.
I'm really happy with it.
Thanks again, and let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. We'll catch you all in the next video.